Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to today's Investor Fireside Chat with Speedy CEO, Frederic Bancroft, and Ross Ford. Thank you, gentlemen, today for joining us. We're glad to have you here today. Before we get started, I do want to say in this webinar today, we won't be able to speak to anything terms related. However, I will be dropping the Start Engine Raise page throughout the course of this webinar. And if you're unable to attend today's webinar, it is recorded and we will be providing a recap video after. So Speed, Ross, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to start off with a, like I do every webinar, with a product walkthrough of our first automated kitchen that we're currently building in another lab across town here in Baton Rouge. It's going to be completed in possibly 5-6 months and installed in Baton Rouge. And we're going to run that for 6 months. But we can take a look at our first generation that I built, and I'll explain to you our technology. So this is our first generation automated kitchen. We built it around 18 to 20 months ago. We've run 5,000 cycles through this system. And we've learned everything that we can about how our system works, what its capabilities are, strengths, weaknesses. But let me walk you through what it is. First of all, we plug in our PLC to our control board in our oven. It's part of our patent, but that allows us to control the conveyor speed and the air speed. So what that does is it opens us up to being able to put whatever we want in the fridge. So we're starting off with pizza. We have two different models. We have a load only. A pre-made where you pre-make pizzas manually and then you load it in. But we also have a partnership that came about recently with Picnic Works, and I believe Clayton, the CEO of Picnics, may be on the call right now. If so, say hey, Clayton. But so we partnered with Picnic Works. They have an automated pizza topping system. They can apply up to 9 custom toppings. That's sauce, cheese, and up to 7 other toppings. And what that allows our system to do is now we can just load in the base with a par-baked crust. We load it into the system. We have 240, 300, 350 crusts, depending on where we install it. And when it comes out, we can customize it. Sauce, cheese, you can make a supreme pizza, you can make a meat lovers pizza, you can make an Italian sausage pizza, cheese only, whatever you want. It's fully customizable. We do have a lid, and I'll show it to you when we go back in the office. But when this product comes out, we have a pizza slicer that we're building independently. It's not bolted on right now, but it's a pizza slicer. When it comes out of the oven, we take a picture with a heat signature camera and a high resolution camera. That all gets loaded onto the server. The customers, when they place an order, they can see how long it was stored in the system. When it was cooked, they can see it before it's sliced, after it's sliced. If the operator doesn't want to have the slice, just say they're going into a college town and they want to just have use our box that has a pizza cutter that can pop into the lid, they can use that as well. They don't have to slice. However, it takes a picture and stores all this stuff on the local server. Comes to our lid placing device, which is just a drop and slide, and then it picks it up. I guess I can do that now. But it slides off, pops the lid on, and I had 2 boxes in there. Anyway, so I actually had 2 boxes, but it applies the lid, and Then it goes into the warmer. That's the part of our process, completing the packaging. We can customize the pizza, or we can load it with pre-made pizzas. The warmer is really what makes us unique in the market. All of our systems, we have a fridge freezer combo system. We have a fryer system. This is our warmer system for our, anything you want to bake in an oven. It comes in here on the back wall is where you can store up to 35 entrees. You can set the system up as a barbecue. You can set it up as a wings unit, or you can set it up as pizza, but they all follow the same functionality from our mechanical, and that they come into our warmer. This warming cavity is stored at 175 degrees. For pizzas, you can store the product up to 2 to 2.5 hours. And what that allows us to do is you can keep the queue going. Meaning if you've got several people in line, this is a drive-through, right? We're serving the community for takeout and delivery. This is a drive-through. We've got 3 pickup windows. And what you want to do in order to satisfy the customers so that your traffic is constantly moving, is that you have to keep your queue going, right? You can't have somebody come up here, place an order, and then it starts cooking. That's a reactionary type system. That would be like a 2-stage. It's not going to work. You'll have people backed up 7, 8, 9 cars deep, and everybody's going to be unhappy. You'll probably last about 3 days, and then you'll be out of business. So we added the warmer as part of our patent. We have a purge system. If somebody places an order, they don't come and pick up the product, our system will go and grab it after 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and put it in the receptacle. We have the same feature for our pickup windows. If somebody scans and they grab 2 of the 3 pizzas and they forget about the third, our system will actually back the product out and put it in a receptacle, or puts it on the shelf and then pings the customer through their app. And it tells them, hey, you forgot your third pizza. They can pull back around and come get it. That's all part of our feature. You can't do that without this warmer. So there are lots of technologies out here, but we feel like we're very confident that ours is put together the right way, because it's the mechanical design solves a customer problem, and that's for drive-through, it's keeping the line going and having it to where you're keeping the experience very high. We produce a great product. We cook our product in a real oven. We have sealed shelving, kind of like a crisper for every single shelf in our fridge. And we have a high, medium, and low pickup, which is also part of our IP. Wherever you scan, when you pull up, if you pull up in the Ford F-250, you'll probably be scanning up here. But wherever you scan, it's telling your system where to bring the food. The other feature that's cool about ours is that we have every shelf pickup is insulated on the back side, meaning inside the system. And we load, we open, we load it, and we close, and then we're ready to open the door for the customer so that we're not losing heat in the cavity. That's also part of our back. And then we have a fridge cavity that we're building our fridge over in our other lab here in Baton Rouge. Our fridge goes right here. Half of the pickup window is in the warmer. The other half is in the fridge. They're both insulated all around. They open up on command. This is where you store your desserts, your cold beverages, Coca-Cola, Sprites, waters, desserts. Could be side items, like if you set this unit up as a barbecue, you'd be putting potato salad and coleslaw in these 4-ounce portion cups. And then your dipping sauces, of course. Ranch, barbecue, blue cheese, that kind of stuff, marinara sauce for the pizza. But what this does is it's a very smart system mechanically, and that reduces your development cost on the software. You don't need a complex AI program, which keeps your development way down. It's a simple system, but it's highly functional in the market. You can customize the pizzas, you can cut them, you can have a load-only unit. For us, it's most of this technology is bolt-on, bolt-off. So if the operator goes 6 months and they're like, guys, I want to add on the pizza cutter and not have the pizza cutter in the box. I think we're touching enough people, families that they want to order and have the pizza pre-sliced. Okay, fine, we bolt it on. It's a service. We add to our monthly SaaS model. But that's the cook and hold. We already started building the second generation in our other lab. This is our corporate headquarters, so we're not going to build another one here. This is really only like a big paperweight now. But let's go back in here and we'll walk you through what the system is going to look like in the market, and we'll talk about the other technology that we've already designed and we have patented. So this is the box that is our interim solution. So our first unit that's going out here in 5 or 6 months in Baton Rouge, it's going to come with we're going to increase the recess cavity by probably 2 or 3 millimeters, but it's going to fit in there pretty snug. And every box comes with a little pizza cutter with a bottle opener on it. We may do some customer engagement, like some QR code stuff where when you place an order, you take a picture of it, you collect all 5 colors, you get your 6th pizza for free. Here's the shelf that I was talking about earlier. This is how it's loaded into the, of course, it's going to be stainless steel, but this is how it's going to look in the cavity. It's extremely snug. Stainless steel on this side, stainless steel on this side. You've got a moving gasket shelf here, moving gasket shelf here. It's load in and then push out from the center. We have a cylinder fridge for our Gen 2 design. We did that because we wanted to keep the load for the refrigerant a lot lower and it's more efficient. We run off of 80 amps for the full system. So roughly, in Louisiana, that's going to translate to roughly $450–500 a month for the current price per watt or however it's priced. But we did the math on it. It's probably going to be around $450–500 a month for our electric. We have 2 different models. We have for the buildings, the operator can invest in a larger building, which is what this is. This is a 20 by 30. That has food service prep where you can do food service inside. Food prep. You can do food prep inside, but then we also have a smaller building. I don't know if I have. Yeah, that's it. This is a 8.5 feet in depth by 30 feet, which is basically just this equipment. And you can walk in. You have enough room to walk in, close the door behind you, load the system, clean the system, and that's it. No food prep. So we have 2 different buildings that we're working with a couple different contract manufacturers who can build this. We believe that the lead time for our manufacturers, of course, we're working with a small contract manufacturer here in the beginning. They can do 1 unit, they can do 100 units. We do have a tier 2 and a tier 3 contract manufacturer. So as we scale, we can certainly drive the cost down. So we're basically selling these units at cost in the beginning with the idea that after we have demand and we have volume and scaling, we can drive the cost down, which will open up the margins on the hardware. We're selling the units at cost in the beginning. The operators purchase a unit with a $10,000 bundle of replacement parts that they must store either inside the facility or somewhere that can be fob accessed 24/7 for the technicians. We do work with Pitney Bowes. We're also talking to 86 Repairs. So we'll be connecting our operators with contract technicians. So in order, we do that bundle of replacement parts in order to keep the downtime low. That's kind of, 2 degrees away from total disaster. If you have, your servo motors, all your products that are doing the majority of the movement and the friction, those are the products that we have audited for this bundle. It's, you store that, and then you always have the capabilities of fixing your unit within 4 to 6 hours instead of part breaking and then having to order, which is nobody wants to do. You could be sitting there for a week. The first time that happens, you're out of business. So that's how we designed our service feature. We make a little money on that. We have a software SaaS model, which is where we make the majority of our money. We do the credit card portal. We're currently working with NYX. So we take a percentage of theirs in the beginning, but we have short-term contracts. After we get this thing going, we're going to develop our own payment portal. It's all app ordering. We've already developed our app. You place an order, you receive a QR code, you pull up, you scan, it gets you your product. We also have a fresh fridge. I'll get into it in a little bit, but that's what it looks like. That's what the building is going to look like out in the parking lot for takeout delivery. You just pull up to it. It's all app ordering. Like I said before, we don't take cash. We don't want to allow our operators to be a target for robbery. We can do in our fresh fridge, which we do have patent pending as well. We can do groceries. We can set the unit up as a little mini grocery unit that's open 24/7. We're working with a couple of third-party delivery companies. They have alcohol licenses. Of course, we would have to. We have a model that does alcohol, by the way, wines, single beers, 12 packs and 6 packs, vodka, all that kind of stuff. It's that's basically, it would just be alcohol in the system. But we have a partner who, a couple different partners in third-party delivery space that is already doing delivery of alcohol. So certain states will require you to have food on the ticket, and some states don't. That's basically one of the main requirements that we are looking at right now, but we do have, we'll just add some food items in there. Anyway, with that being said, let's take some Q&A, and hopefully I can answer some of y'all's questions. And Ross is one of our investors. He and his family came in early on and really helped us out. So you're welcome to ask him any questions as well about why he invested, what's he believe in the technology, how we've been doing for the last 18 months. So fire away some questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that great demonstration, Speed. Yeah, so Ross, before we start taking some questions, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself, your experience in the industry as well?
Absolutely. Born and raised in Baton Rouge. Once I started working, I spent about 15 years in the restaurant business. And you learn a lot about how simple, efficient methods can just make your operation that much smoother. And, having spent many years dealing with all kinds of problems, when I first found out about this, it was just such a no-brainer for me about, this could answer so many, it's just so many solutions to how many problems there are, especially now with, how bad labor has gotten in this sector, and people just were constantly more busy trying to do things faster, less time to be patient, those low patience days, like Speed likes to say. With disruptive technologies, getting in, early is always where you best benefit from those things. And just, to me, it just makes so much sense to have something like this to answer all those problems.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Yeah, so to everyone in the audience, we'll now be taking questions. If you have any burning questions that you'd like to present to both Speed and Ross, now is the time to. And I'll just, get the ball rolling. So, Speed, Ross, can you tell us in your own words, what are the best reasons or the top reasons to invest in Speedy Eats?
I would say there's a lot of automated technology out there. I would say that our version of how we look at being placed in the market is a true disruptor, meaning we can provide a fantastic product, but more than that, we can produce an experience for the customer that's easy, it's accessible 24/7. A lot of the technology that you see coming out is meant for indoors, like inside of a mall, that type, or an airport. That's not really us. We are talking to Six Flags. We're talking to Disney World. We've had those conversations. We know our technology will fit in those applications. However, we know that there's a need for 24/7 convenience, and we have a system that's extremely flexible. We built it where it's universal. The way that we do cook our product in the box prohibits food particulates from getting outside, falling outside of the box, which is the only system out there that does that for this type of cooking. And what that allows us to do is to have a really good warranty program. So we're really doing some things that will, not only provide a simple solution for a operator, but it's really easy to access for a customer as well. So there's a lot of value in that, and that's what people are currently looking for. So the parking lot spaces is our main focus at this point. We firmly believe that with the assets that we currently have, we have an automated cook and hold that uses an oven. We have an automated fridge freezer. We have an automated alcohol, and we have an automated fryer pod that's end to end. So we can do wings, sauce. We can do chicken tenders, like some of these chicken tender restaurants. I'm not going to name one, but we can be a wings only unit and customize those. There's nothing that we really can't do with our current IP portfolio. We already have the designs for a lot of this other technology. We know our product rollout, our path to the market. I can get this company positioned to be commercialized within 18 to 24 months and scaling. We also already have an investor, a lead investor who's interested in coming in for $3 million. They are also on top of that. It's going to be two tranches. It's going to be $800,000 in the beginning, and then 2.2 after that, after we launch. But on top of that, they're coming in with a guaranteed PO of 100 units. So we already have that on the table, and we're working through that with this investor. So I would say there's a lot of interest from the investment community, and I think that's going to grow, because the further we go, the more demand there is. People are starting to wise up to why we're different, and I think this is going to be one of those companies that truly does change the game.
Just to add, like he was saying about people are wising up to kind of how we're different. This technology really does answer not only the problems in the current market, but other technologies that you look at. This answers problems that you see with those other units. Whereas, units that don't have a holding oven, they have really long queue times that that's not going to work for how fast paced this world is and how it needs to be. You also have the aspect of a lot of the other units are only walk-up units. You can't have a drive-through. And then also the ability for an operator to have their own small prep area inside. You just don't see any of those things on any of the other technologies or units that are currently out there right now. And it's really something that will just change the space as far as across the board, how people are going to view,
Yeah.
fast food.
And I want to bring up something else. You already have a company out there that's gaining traction with a unit that they place into parking lots. It's walk up only. They can't do, as far as I know, as far as I have designed our system with the warmer, I don't think they can get into the warmer, having the warmer cavity, because I've covered all the aspects of the warmer that make it feasible for drive up. And we're adding on to our IP portfolio. So it'd be very difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying from where we are right now, we've covered our bases. We're very strong with IP. And on top of that, so that this other company has really proven the way for us. They have a company that they're placing these units out in parking lots that they do walk up. They're doing around 45 to 60 pizzas a day. However, the impulse goes up when you add a drive-through because you're allowing the customer to not have to get out of the car. Impulse goes up. We can customize our pizzas. They can. Impulse goes up. We can cut our pizzas. They can't. Impulse goes up. We also add your secondary items, your beverages, your desserts, your side items, your dipping sauces. So you're more positioned to obtain orders for delivery because you can do this. People order delivery, they want everything. And if you can't provide that, nobody's going to use your system in the long term. Now, these companies have made traction. However, this is going to put a hiatus to them. I don't see how they're going to get around that. If they want to go change their drawing board in the middle of scaling out a product, I'd say that's pretty much impossible because you've raised capital for one thing, and when you set these courses, you got to stay to it. So they're locked in. I'm flexible, but I've got a system that can get. And the reason why, from an operator standpoint, why is it important to have the secondary items, the upsell items, Cokes, beverages, your waters, your side items, all this desserts. You want to get your per ticket transactions up. Okay, that affords this and makes it more profitable, and you want to improve your margins. But if you're just having pizza, right, and your system can do nothing but pizza, okay, you're locked into that. That's all you can do. But also, your per ticket transaction is going to be down there at around $10 or $9, where ours is up at $15 to $17 because we can offer more. And it's very convenient to pull up. So I would say they're doing 45 to 60 orders a day. They're doing great. But I think we're going to go up to 100, 120 orders a day. We do that 333 days a year at $15 to $17 per ticket transaction. And you're going to see our P&L is 20 to 25% off of our net margins is 20 to 25% off of, say, 500 to 750,000. That's what I believe our per unit sales will be just for the pizza. So we have a very strong solution that provides much more than anybody else can. Where we currently are in the space.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Speed. That was a very detailed answer. Thank you as well, Ross. Yeah, so we have a hand raised here from Dan, so I'm going to allow him to ask this question. Dan, can you go ahead?
Yeah. Hey, Speed, Dan O'Toole here, Drone Deck. How are you, man?
Hey, Dan, how's it going?
Good, good. How are you guys doing over there? It looks like you got some big things happening.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Looking forward to working with you.
No, that's why I wanted to chime in here. I just wanted to say to your investor community that Drone Deck, next generation mailbox for autonomous delivery. We have a relationship with Speedy Eats, and I just wanted to say, kind of continuing the automation theme. Cooking autonomously, and then coming up with the delivered the item that's cooked to your satisfaction. What's the next point in addition to being able to drive up. We envision drone access, drones being able to pick up from a Speedy Eats kiosk and deliver autonomously to a drone deck. So if you're into this all autonomous world that is evolving right before our eyes, I just wanted to let everyone know how you guys are thinking about things out there, and that you're thinking about forward looking things like drone deck and autonomous delivery. And I just wanted to
Yeah,
chime in and tell everybody about our relationship. And I know
yeah,
you guys are raising right now on Start Engine, and coincidentally, tomorrow we're going to start raising capital on Start Engine as well. So if you love Speedy Eats, or if you love Drone Deck, we always know that our investors like to participate with other companies that we're working with. So if there's any drone deck people out here, I would like to give a shout out to Speedy Eats, and just give them a thumbs up from Drone Deck.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, we are looking at doing having a solution for drone delivery to drone decks locations. So that is a partnership that we've already structured. We're when we get to that, we're definitely wanting to partner up with Dan and his company, and that's coming. So that's something that we can do that I don't see a lot of other players being able to do in this space. Also, if you were to look at this on a third party platform and they can integrate with our system, we can offer a lot more. We're more of a if you're familiar with GoPuff, we're very similar to the product listings that they can offer, and we can certainly do that with drone. But we're just an automated version of GoPuff. I can have a system that can do anything that GoPuff can do, except for we're more efficient because we're automated, and our labor is down there at about 4 to 6%, as opposed to where they are based on their current financials. It's around 28 to 30%. So our system is a lot more efficient for the operators and provides them a faster rate of return. It's what we currently believe is going to be our MO with regards to P&L and payback for an operator. I believe I can get the payback period to 2 years. So it's a fast rate of return. If you're to put that in compared to a restaurant, a brick and mortar, they're anywhere from 7 to 10 years, where we're 2 years. And the number one problem in the quick service restaurant industry or fast food is the labor management of your labor force. It's 300% turnover a year. So if you've got a 7 to 10 person crew, you're looking at 21 to 30 people that you're going through. And I know there's some hubbub about, hey, you're going to be taking jobs away. No, we're going to be employing a lot of people in manufacturing, and the people that we do hire are going to be in the zone of $20 to $25 an hour, which is $40 to $50,000 a year, which can satisfy a decent quality of life for the people that we do hire. There is a shrinking demand for jobs that pay $10 to $12 an hour, which is currently in the fast food restaurant. I think the average is 10.
And there's so many companies that are taking away those workers as well. One of the biggest problems in the industry right now is finding labor across the board. It doesn't matter which side of this industry you're in, whether it's high end or quick service, Amazon and all these companies that are hiring drivers for $15 to $20 an hour. They're taking away all the labor from restaurants and everything. And it's a problem. And labor is one of your highest costs as especially with the high turnover rate. Retraining people is expensive. You know, this kind of cuts all that stuff out of the picture to where you're taking away bad, you know, jobs that people don't want to work and replacing them with better jobs and opportunities for people.
Yeah. And being accessible 24/7 and on the pipeline of these streets where people can pull in and pull out, people are going to get really used to using Speedy Eats. A cool feature about us is if you download the Speedy Eats app, one time you can use any Speedy Eats on the planet. We're talking to some grocery stores. We may do some white label as well. But once you download that master app, you don't have to go and do it again. It's very similar to some of these delivery companies that you just put your credit card in one time and you're good to go. So it's extremely easy. If you're like me, I go to Florida once or twice a year for vacation with the family, and I see you know, parking lots that we could be setting up in. If you create an account in Baton Rouge, you take a trip to Old Destin and have a nice little week off and with your family, and you pass one of these things, it'll pick up on your phone. It'll ask you, is this the location you want? Yes. And then place your order, do it with one hand, and then gives you the QR code to pull in. We will have windows that are accessible to look inside the units. That keeps the kiddos happy. You'll be seeing robotic arms and all that kind of stuff. We probably will be playing music or something to that effect. The side adjacent from the drive-through is going to be a big LED screen. You know, different spaces allow for different light permits and you know, different size billboards that we can use. But we will have we will be very visible with LED screens, and we'll make this system so incredibly efficient that I cannot see anybody be more efficient doing what we're doing. It's the smallest, most efficient unit that you can have with regards to being able to produce high volume and doing delivery and takeout.
And back to what you were saying about kind of the impulse stuff, all the things that we have are what ticks up the impulse, as well as with not even, you know, walk up and drive through, but drone deck as well. That's another impulse for somebody to use this system as opposed to somebody else when they don't even have to go to the unit. I mean, they can have something brought to them.
Yeah.
Again, it's just
it's open at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, you're in college or
can't drive for whatever reason
maybe. Yeah, whatever it is. Say you went to a social party. You know,
right.
Say you don't have to just be in college, but I can set these things up strategically. The placement I can put right outside of these great neighborhoods or you know, big neighborhoods, and I can serve them 24/7 much better than when you have a centrally located like GoPuff. When you're centrally located in the industrial parkway and you have a big warehouse, you're serving everybody from there, but I can put my units out there for the operators closer so that the delivery time for the consumer is much lower. So people eventually turn off on you know, those 30, I've used this company, so I know, I'm telling you from experience, it's 30, 45 minutes to get my order, where if you're right there on the verge of that parking lot across the street from a big neighborhood, and the delivery driver can just pull up, grab their stuff, go make the delivery, and there's nobody that you have to talk to. And we have accountability here, where everything that we do, we take a picture of and load it onto the receipt of the customer. So if there is an issue, we do the customer service. So we're building a call center here in Baton Rouge, and if you know something was handled wrong and you want to present this and maybe get a refund, we can handle that for you. We can see everything that the delivery driver got in his hands before it was out of our hands, and or you know vice versa with the takeout customer. So we can provide that information, the data on every single receipt, so that a customer knows that you know, if there is a problem, we can work through that with them. Our operators can see what they got, and we can either issue a refund immediately, or if it is a false claim, we can reject it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Speed. Yeah, we have a lot of questions here in the queue. I do want to say to everyone, if we don't get to answer your questions today, you can also hop over to the Start Engine page, where Speed is always on hand to answer all your questions, all your burning questions. But for now, we do have 20 minutes left in this webinar, and we're going to try to get to every single question if possible. So we have a question here from Joel. I know one is being developed for the coffee business. Is there any chance you'll be getting into beverages?
Yeah, are we getting into beverages? Yeah. So all of our units come with beverage. So if we have a fridge freezer model, which is right here. We do salads, wraps, subs. This is our load only unit, but we have a larger unit where we can do food prep inside. You can add sushi, steaks. Those are raw. You can add those to it once we have the larger unit where you can do food prep. But all of our systems come with beverages. And we have this is patent pending. We have a receptacle right here that if a product expires, we go up and grab it, and we purge it from inventory. So the operator doesn't have to keep going out there and removing products manually. This is what the shelf is going to look like. I know this thing's gonna fall off, but it looks like this. It gets to the shelf. When we get to the unit, we scan it, put it on the shelf. Our system tracks it from that point forward. If it gets to where it expires, our system will kick it out to a gantry. And this is a hollow wall, 6 inches rectangle. And it just drops it into a receptacle. But to answer your question, yeah, we do beverages. We also do alcohol beverages. We have specific units for alcoholic beverages, but we do plan on doing with every single unit that we build, we have a selection of beverages. And if we white label this we've had some people come in and want to white label it, some large convenience stores and restaurant chains. They have their own beverages. They may have, some off the wall thing that I'm not familiar with. They can put whatever they want to in there if they feel that that's going to better suit the community.
You could essentially say that you had somebody that all they wanted to do was, energy drinks and boba teas and stuff like that. They could set this unit up to just be solely beverages.
Yeah, beverage. If that's what you want to do.
You wouldn't have to have any food in it at all.
Yeah, if you want to be the specialty drinks system, shakes. And that's what you set up, you can do that.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so we have a hand raised here from Donna. So Donna, take it away.
Hi, good afternoon. I had found out about Speedy from the drone companies, and I've been extremely interested for some time. Couple of quick questions. First of all, well, not a question. I see the whole issue of security in cities where you have crime problems. I think this is a real value proposition that you bring. In terms of security and safety. The other question I have is, what cities do you anticipate in terms of your strategic roadmap? Where are you looking to go from this location? And is there a place for doing this internationally?
So our new lead investor is, we have not finalized the deal with them. They're wanting to come in with $3 million. They may be, it depends on what the terms of the agreement are, but they want to start their 100 units in the Atlanta area.
Mm-hmm.
What I see Baton Rouge, where we're located right now, what I see value in what we're doing, our team here, is developing the new technologies and placing them out in Baton Rouge as our beachhead. So. Sure. Once we prove it in the Baton Rouge market, we can do a financial audit on that specific product, like our fryer machine or the grocery store unit. We can use Baton Rouge as a battleground for R&D, and then we take that and, you know, distribute it maybe in select cities in the beginning with select operators who fit a profile, you know, experience, the correct amount of capital. And I see that as the way that we can scale out. Select cities, make sure that we don't bite off more than we can chew.
Sure.
You know, the way that I'm really good at the R&D. I think that's my strength. You know, this new partner potentially may bring a different level of depth, and that's management. And I'm really happy for that, because this is, you know, I get all my fun stuff is designing and building stuff. Well, that's not, you know, you need the management side of it too. So we have, you know, we're looking for that, but we have the opportunity with this group right now, which I think is a huge value, because, you know, the faster we can get all these technologies built and scaling and have a pipeline to move them to, the faster that we can run. And
so there are a number of cities around the country, as I think your investor is aware, who are really looking at models of companies like yours to solve this, you know, to be able to provide these kinds of services, but without the risk of crime. I mean, they're looking at the labor shortages, but they're also looking at crime, and Chicago is one example of that.
Yeah, I would say, you know, a lot of people, we do have cameras on the external and on the internal. One thing that people don't realize is that we have 3M security glass on all of our windows to where you can look in. So it's 3M security glass, and then there is a room between where the next glass is. We have a heated glass. There's 2 layers, and we do that for anti-fogging, but also that exterior, having that 3M security glass. You're not going to break that. You can get, it's not even glass, by the way. It's multi-layered plexiglass, and it's held together by some resin, but it's clear. It doesn't fog up. It's a great product for us because we want to showcase the products that the operators choose to put in here. And we want to even show some of the engineering stuff, you know, moving pieces of the equipment, but we don't want to expose this expensive equipment to vandalism. So that's really what, you know, why we designed it with the 3M security glass and not your traditional glass setup. But yeah, the operator can log into their dashboard and see what's going on outside their unit 24/7. And we, as an extra measure of adding security to the operator, is that if you're in the driveway, drive-through, and you place an order and you rip off the door where you pick up your customer pickup, you ordered from our app,
Right.
and you agreed in the beginning as a part of our terms of service that we can, if you place an order and get upset and break something with our system, you're paying for it. And it's agreed in the terms of service in the beginning, and we can prove it. We can see your face from every single pickup window. We have a snapshot. As soon as the window opens, we can see everything.
Well, not only that, but from the other side of it, the fact that everything is automated, you're totally removing the human element, the human worker from being there.
Yeah.
So that alone is going to be safer for people in terms of your employees, or, you know, however you want to look at it. When I was in the restaurant business, one of the things that you always did was you kept the back door locked and closed, because there was one night somebody came in our back door, got a 55-gallon garbage can, went straight in our walk-in cooler and grabbed every single ribeye and filet and everything and walked right out the back door with it. And if somebody would have gotten their way, then that could turn into another bad or potentially violent situation that you're going to be much safer as far as people are concerned with the unit like this.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. Lower liability for the employees. You can get in, load it,
less workers
and
comp.
get out. You can pick when you want to load it.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to load it at 2 o'clock when it's daylight and you don't want to get out there at 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that, I don't blame you.
Right.
But you can pick your own schedule. The operators can.
And you
Awesome.
can park more behind yourself, go in to load everything.
Yeah.
That was a great answer. Thank you for that amazing question as well. Yeah, so we have a lot of questions here. So Speed, Ross, if you know,
Yeah, we'll try to be quick with each one.
Yeah.
we're gonna have to be quick with these. Yeah, so we have a question here from Jeff. Does Speedy Eats offer a routine servicing package for the system to include software as a service support and updates?
Yeah, we do. That's our main, the main way that our company makes money is through our software. So we do support, we do updates. It's all as part of a comprehensive plan. It's right now it fluctuates on which model you get, but everything included in our support that we do for, like we do marketing materials. I think we're going to do co-advertising. We've been discussing this. The software as a service is part of it. The credit card portal, we get a percentage of the transaction. We may do a small franchise fee, but at the end of the day, because you've reduced three items, at the end of the day, you've reduced labor from 28 to 32% down to 4 to 6%. The more units you have, like you can run one employee for 3 to 5 locations. So the more units you have, if you were to look at your P&L, you're more efficient as a ratio of sales for these different categories. So your labor is way down there. When you lower the labor, you're raising your net margin. The other things are your utility and your rental. So we can set up in the smallest possible space. You still have to provide for your permitting. So car stacking. I don't know if you can see this, but we have different models that we had some architects draw. We have a wraparound. You have to have 20-degree angles. So there's a size of the building that we will master that is directly correlated with where it's going to be placed and what does that wraparound look like if you're coming at a different angle. But what is the smallest space that you can do for a carve out? And I forgot the question. What was the question?
I think it was more in terms of maintenance with, I think, service with not only the app side, but maybe as far as the internal stuff goes.
Yeah, the maintenance is, we contract with third party. That's something we could possibly get into as a vertical of our own. I know that food service is something that we're going to want to get into as our own vertical. But the maintenance on this, we're talking to 2 different companies. One is Pitney Bowes and the other is 86 Repairs. And we take a small percentage of their fees, roughly $300 a month. We tack on an extra $50. So it's $350 a month for one service call. If it's extra, we may tack on another $50. It's another $50 from the contractor. But I'm still working on that. The large macro, if you were to look at our company, if an operator does $500,000 in sales, our company does $50,000 to $60,000 a year per location. So it's roughly 10 to 12% is based off the operator sales. Most of our software fees are fixed though, so we don't fluctuate with that. But some of the ways that we make money are floating, such as the payment portal. Like we get, it's a transactional thing, so that could be lower if you're not generating, high ticket numbers every day. So that we're basically 10 to 12%. Operator does 500,000. We do basically 50 to 60,000. And it's got everything baked in there. We do the customer service. It's roughly $350 a month. We do the maintenance. We do the software updates. And we do the training as well. It's part of the due diligence in the beginning. After we get through the operator vetting period, we have a training school that we're setting up here in Baton Rouge. and it's part of, you have to pay for it, but it's a bundle in the beginning that you have to do. And you come in, it's a week long. We train you about the hardware, the software, and food prep.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Speed. Yeah, so I know everyone has a lot of burning questions. There's a lot of questions here in the queue, but we only have 5 minutes left. So if your question doesn't get answered today, you can go ahead to the Start Engine Raise page. Speed is engaging potential investors on there. So definitely, I encourage you to go over there and
Answer any questions. Follow up. Yeah.
Definitely. So we have a question here from Eric. Eric, you've been waiting a long time. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Hey, how are you doing? My name's Eric. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama, but born in Baton Rouge. Really excited about what y'all are working on. It seems like the infrastructure to run one of these systems has a cost to it. Is there a chance that this can go off grid so that makes it more transportable or less dependent on facilities locally, like the power system?
So it runs off of a 220 line, and you have a water connection. If you have a unit that has the food, so we have load only that is transportable. That's an 8.5 by 30-foot building. You can pick that up on a flatbed, just about any flatbed, and transport it without a wide load permit. Now, for our other building, that is a stationary unit. That's more of we did that because we want a hub and spoke. We want the operators to be able to do their food prep at one location and then load the other units around town. That's the model that we adopted. But there's a company called Zoom that I felt attempted this moving this type of equipment around. It's very expensive equipment, and as soon as you hit a bump, most of these things are calibrated to a couple millimeters. Like it has to be extremely accurate in order to place it on the shelf. So I would say, like let's say for example, when it comes from the manufacturing, we treat the we do all the development on the parking lot, and we place the unit down. We do a recalibration with Pitney Bowes, so that we get the thing perfectly calibrated, and then we turn on the software and we run some cycles through it before we turn over the keys. Right. So I don't think that we're ever going to be mobile, but you can move them. And like I wouldn't say like pick it up and go put it in a tailgate and run it for a week. And I don't think that there's enough volume to dictate doing that or to justify it. I say, we may be able to build something like that in the future, but for right now, I don't see the current state of art or the technology in the robotics industry being able to do that. There's a company out there trying it. Zoom raised $425 million and attempted it, and they didn't pull it off. And they have a very talented CEO, Alex Garden. And if he can't pull it off, I'd say nobody can. Yeah. So I wouldn't try it because of the sensitivity. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. And I think we can get to one more question here, Speed. Stanley, you've been waiting, so you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Richard. Hi, Speed. I hope you're doing great. Thanks to the investor community and congratulations. So, Speed, my question is, I'm from a customer support background, and I was very curious to know how your customer support is planned to operate, because it's a complete no human touch while you're serving the customers. So I was just curious to know how you actually planned your customer support system.
Yeah, the customer support, it's a really big piece of the puzzle. So what we worked out is sensors that can track every single order when it's loaded by the operator. After it's cooked, we take a heat signature. We take a before and after the cutting. if it's wings, as soon as it comes out of the oven, we have a high resolution fixed mounted camera. All of this reports to our local server. And we keep it on there for a period of time before we dump it to a cloud. But even after it's dumped in a cloud, our operators who are not on site, right? We have a call center, and that's part of our service that we bill the operators, but they can call an operator, a customer, if something goes wrong, they can write into us and talk to, and I think potentially call in as well, but we will be able to walk that, see what actually the customer got. And because we track it through every single part of our system. And so that's how we intend on doing the customer service. We can see everything that the customer got. We can see the cook temperature on the external after it comes out of the oven. That's important. If you can't do that and you can't provide customer service, I think you're going to have a lot of people that aren't going to trust coming up here. If you can have that element and make it to where it's reliable, which we think that our sensor placement and the way that we collect data and communicate with the customer if upon command, we believe that what we have structured kind of is the accountability space for customer accountability. We believe that we've done a pretty good job of it, and the way that we're going about it, I think, is the only way to do it from a customer service standpoint.
From my experience in the restaurant business, especially, customer service is as important as how good the food is. You can give somebody a great plate of food, but if you fail to meet them on customer service, chances are they might not even complain about it. They just won't come back, and they'll go to the next door neighbor for some better service. So it's a very important part of it, and we are very aware of that. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. The second question is, how do you think you manage the food wastage? I'm very curious about that part.
Yeah. So we have, let's take, for example, our cooking home, which is the first model of the prototype I showed you. In the fridge, if a product expires, it blacks out on our software program. So the system, it ghosts. You can't pull from that shelf anymore. That sends a signal to the dashboard, and it accumulates on what is the dead inventory you need to pull out when you go to load it the next day. So that's how we handle that. However, we filed a patent for our warmer and pickup windows. If an order is received, we cook it, we load it in the warmer. After 2 hours, if the customer, two and a half, I think is what we can get up to, but if the customer doesn't pick it up in that window, we've already billed the customer. We have to purge the item off that shelf. That's part of our patent, and you have to put it into a receptacle. So we do that. We go and grab it off, and we put it into the receptacle. And we do the same thing if a customer, the actual pickup portal where the customer drives up to, if they scan and they grab 2 pizzas and they had 3 in there, and they didn't grab the third when they drive off, we notify that customer, hey, you forgot something. And we have a default part of our program where we go grab that product off the shelf, take it out of the pickup portal, and put it back on the warmer shelf. And if that customer decides to come back and get it, they just need to rescan their phone. They can get that product that they left behind. But we have a way to manage the inventory, and that's how we do it. It's part of our patent as well. It's very important. If you can't, there are already systems out there purging inventory from the fridge, but if you can't purge your inventory in the warmer and you can't cook and hold, you really can't do this type of setup.
That's right.
And it also makes sure that, like, if somebody, say somebody ordered a cheese pizza, they didn't come pick it up, somebody that comes an hour and a half later isn't going to get the hour and a half old pizza. They're going to get the one that they ordered, in other words. And the one that's been dead is going to sit there until it gets purged and nobody gets a bad pizza.
Yeah. And we free up shelves. Like if somebody comes in and places an order for 5 pizzas and you've got 35 shelves in there and you've got them all loaded up, you're also freeing up products. If somebody doesn't pick it up, you need to clear those off the shelves. I don't think it's ever going to get that high. I think a 20 capacity warmer shelf is just fine as well. But we don't know that for sure. We got to put our unit out there and see what happens.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. That was a great answer, guys. We are a little bit over time, but hey, let's say we just take one more question for the room, right? Yeah, so let's see here. From an anonymous attendee, is automation used by Speedy's proprietary, or do the vendors have the rights to sell that automation to other companies?
No, it's proprietary. We have to license it to you. The software is what runs it. Without the software, it's really just a big paperweight. We have 3 patents that have already, like, we've been working on for the last 3 or 4 years, and we just filed an additional 3, so we have 6 total in our IP portfolio. So we've protected everything that we're talking about. And we can't white label. If somebody wants to come in and they have their own product line, or they say they want to work with us and they commit to a certain number of units, we can certainly work something out. But it's always going to come back to our software runs their system, and we have the same maintenance contract and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're flexible in the aspect that we can white label if we want to. It just depends on it really depends on the operator and what is it that they're bringing to the table.
Awesome. So I'm just gonna drop the Start Engine link one more time in the chat for anyone that your questions, we didn't get a chance to get to them today. However, yeah, Speed will definitely go in and answer all your questions. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. Do you have any closing comments?
Oh, keep the questions coming. They're what makes us better.
Yeah.
We are fans of criticism, and we'll take whatever we can get.
Yeah, believe me, that's how we got here. My first model was horrible. But yeah, look, if you want to invest in something that is going to be a part of the future, I started this thing in 2015. Okay, I've probably pitched over 2,000 or 3,000 times. I don't have a record of it. I just go and go and go. But we have some very strong IP. We have a great team to get this company scaling. We have the right manufacturers. We have the right components. We have some pretty solid vendors already. We have 600 operator leads in the pipeline. We have investors coming in. So if you want to invest in something that can go and grow that over the next 3 to 5 years and fits the current model with inflation, and it fits the trends that are occurring where operators need this type of technology, we're the best company out there. Of course, I'm biased. Of course I am. But I've taken from 2015 to now, that's 7.5 years to get me to where I can make that claim. It wasn't like that in the beginning. But we have some great IP, great team, great products, and we're very diverse. So we can do many things under our current structure.
Yeah, and these units are a much more approachable sort of entry point for somebody. If you want to go open a new brick and mortar restaurant, you're going to look at spending $1 to $2 million just to get your doors open, and you're going to have a much longer ROI as far as how long it takes you to actually get in the black to make your money back. And with these things being, just for rough ballpark, you're looking at 1/10 of the entry level cost. You're looking at a 8-year faster return on your investment. I think this is just going to increase volume as far as people getting into this space and being able to be profitable with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for today's fireside chat, gentlemen. Yeah, so this webinar will be recorded for everyone that probably hopped in late and missed the first part of this very beautiful Q&A. I'm sure we addressed a lot of great questions today. And if you have any more questions, please visit the Start Engine Raise page, where Speed will definitely get to you and answer any more burning questions that you may have. And you can look out for this webinar recap in about a week or so. And until then, thank you so much, gentlemen, again. And
Y'all, appreciate everyone for coming
Yeah.
in and asking questions.
Yeah, y'all go invest, please.
to the Start Engine Raise page. All right, guys, take care.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.